What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be going over all of the world bosses that just came out in Season Discovery. So there are two main bosses that came over. We're going to go over the locations, the loot, the mechanics, as well as the recommended party size. So you want to go in here with one or two tanks. You can get away with one tank easily. You just want to get a second tank just in case the first one dies. You can probably go for a feral as the off tank just in case, so you can go cat form and get out some extra DPS. As for your heals, you can go for a priest and a resto druid, or you can go priest paladin or resto druid paladin, whichever one you want, and you just get the rest in DPS. You can 10-man this pretty easily. However, the comfortable size is going to be about 15-man. So the first boss that we're going to go over is Azuregos. You're going to go to this location here in Ajara. You're going to run in the instance, and you are going to have to go around and find Azuregos. It will not aggro onto you, so just make sure that you clear some of the ads around the area that you are going to be pulling him in. Now, they will respawn if you don't pull him fast enough, so just keep that in mind. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that you can actually aggro her before you talk to her, so just make sure that you don't accidentally cleave off another mob like we did in this case. Now, as for her mechanics, she does an instant spell reflect, so just make sure that you, as a DPS, don't try and kill yourself on accident. And besides that, the only other mechanic that she really does is she teleports everyone to her pretty consistently, and when she does a semi-threat drop, so tanks, make sure that you have your taunts and your abilities ready to just damage her off and get your threat back. And if you are a DPS, do not attack her in like 1 or 2 seconds afterwards, because otherwise she will just straight on aggro you and you will die. The second thing to keep in mind is that she does do a frontal and a tail swipe, so don't be behind her and don't be in front of her, just be on the side. And you're going to basically just rinse and repeat these mechanics until you go ahead and kill her. Now, as for her loot, she drops some pretty good stuff here for pretty much all classes. She's going to go ahead and drop the Crystal Adorned Crown, which is going to be best in slot by far. For healers, it is amazing. Next, she's going to drop a pretty decent back here for healers. Honestly, not really the best. But if you don't have anything better, this is pretty good. She drops the Puissant Cape, which is best in slot for quite a few melee classes, so make sure you get that. Next, she drops an okay belt. I wouldn't say it's amazing. It's not really going to be super useful until we get into Nax. However, it is decent to have, especially going against mages, I guess, if you're a paladin. Next, she's going to drop legs here, which are pretty good for arcane mages, except arcane mages kind of suck right now, so that's pretty much going to be just a DE right there. Next, she's going to drop these snowblind shoes. These are pretty good. However, I'm pretty sure you can get better, but not bad. Then you have Cold Snap, which is going to be your best in slot wand for frost mages. This is pretty good. Then you have the Fang of the Mystics, which is going to be pretty good for your boomies as well as your mages, and I think warlocks as well. So that's not bad at all. Then you have Eskander's Left Claw, which is going to be pretty good. I'm not sure exactly who's going to use this, but it is not bad. Then we have Typhoon, which is going to be an okay two-handed sword. And then you have your Mature Blue Dragon Sinew, which is going to be for hunters only to increase their range attack speed as a quiver. And then you have your Sack of Gems. Now, she also does drop a ton of patterns, which I'm going to list right here. And that's pretty much all you need to know about her. Next, we're going to move over to Kazzak. Now, Kazzak is located right here. You're going to have to go into a portal. Same deal. Now, the only difference here in actually spawning him is that you're going to have these really big guys, and you are going to have to kill them. And as soon as they're all dead, he is going to spawn at this location here. Now, he is a relatively simple boss here, so make sure that you're always above 50% mana so you don't die, because if you die, you will also heal him, so best not to do that. Now, you are going to face the boss away, as usual. He does not do a tail swipe, so melee can absolutely be behind him, no problem. He's also going to throw out some curses, and he's also going to throw out some magic debuffs, so make sure that you have a druid priest or, you know, similar healing comp just to avoid that. And he's going to do a little bit of minor raid-wide damage. at the beginning. Now, when it gets to 25% health, he's going to enrage, which means he's going to be doing more damage to the tank, as well as he's going to be throwing out some shadow bolts, and he's going to be throwing out raid-wide damage. You just have to heal through it and kill him, and also make sure that you stay above 50% mana this entire time. And that's pretty much all you need to know about him, and, you know, just keep rinsing and repeating until he dies. Next, we're going to go over his loot super quick. So he is guaranteed to drop an Eye of the Shadow, which is going to be best in slot. For priests, you are going to have either Benediction, which is an amazing staff, or you can also have Anathem, which is a pretty good S-Priest staff as well. Then he's going to drop your Infernal Head Cage, which is pretty decent for shamans. I'm not sure about any other class, but it's pretty decent for them. Next, you have the Blaze Fury Medallion, which is an okay neck. There's definitely better around, but it's not terrible. Then you have Eskandar's Pelt, which is an okay tanking cape. Then you have the Black Light Bracer, which is okay as well. Then you have your Doomhide Gauntlets, which are pretty good rogue or feral gloves. Then you have the Flayed Doomguard Belt, which is okay, and the Fel Infused Leggings, which I think is going to be best in slot for Shadow Priests as well as Warlocks. Then you're going to have the Finger of Entropy, which is a kind of crappy ring, to be fair with you. And then you have the Anvarium Demolisher, which is going to be best in slot for quite a few classes. And then you have your Ember Seal Keeper, which is an okay staff, but there's definitely a lot better. And then you obviously have your Sack of Gems. And he has a few other pieces of loot, but these are the recipes that he drops. And that's pretty much all we got for you today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace out for now.